Subscribe to AmpCode and ring the notification bell to get the latest content.
Hello and welcome back. In the previous lectures, we have seen all about Apache Kafka and we have also set it up locally on our Windows machine. So basically here we are going to extend our knowledge and see about how to integrate Kafka with different services, because if your organization is data driven, you might be having several platforms and several tools and technologies, and you might want to connect your Kafka cluster to these systems to able to get the meaning out of your data. So basically here we are going to see all about the Kafka Connect, which gives you the capability to connect to several platforms through Kafka. So without further ado, let's get into it. So basically Kafka Connect, let's talk about the overview first. You may ask what really is a Kafka Connect. So basically it is nothing but a framework for connecting Kafka with external systems such as databases. So databases, it could also connect with the relational databases, NoSQL databases like the Cassandra, MongoDB. So I hope we already talked about MongoDB and Cassandra as well, and you already know about the relational databases, which stores the data into a structured format. And also it also search the indexes, since the data could be coming from any source. It could be coming from IoT devices as well. So basically the main part of Kafka Connect is nothing but connecting the dots. So it could get the data from external sources as well as the file system using the so-called connectors. So basically these connectors are available individually for each data source. So these Kafka connectors are nothing but the ready to use components. You don't have to write the whole code from scratch. Connectors will do all job for you to integrate all these services with Kafka. So this will help you import the data from external systems into Kafka topics. So basically topics we already talked about, that it is a storage layer of Kafka where the data is stored as a key value pairs. And you can also export this data from Kafka topic to the external system. So external system could mean that it could be indexes like the Elasticsearch. If you don't know about Elasticsearch, it is a ELK stack which gives you the whole capability to work with the real-time data. So here these connectors are available readily. So this can be maintained by the community, because as you already know that Kafka is open source system, but you can support it by Confluent as well. So Confluent is basically a layer above Kafka where you will get all the supports and is a licensed product, and its partners and Confluent team will have support for other connectors as well. So we can get the connectors for S3 bucket as well to integrate the cloud platform with our Kafka, as well as we can get it for JDBC and Cassandra databases to write the data. So let's talk about some of the features of the Kafka Connect in detail. So let's talk about the features now. So the first one will be, it will simplify your development, deployment as well as management of the connectors, because you don't want to reinvent the wheel again to write the whole framework code to able to integrate all these services. The connectors will do all things for you. So in the agile development today, it is very vital to deliver your job within timelines. So basically it will simplify your development process, and it will not need any expertise and time consuming processes, and the deployment as well as the management of the connectors is very helpful. So basically you will not need any administrative task as well, which will be required if you don't have connectors and write the whole code from the scratch. So the second feature is, you will get the benefit of the distributed computing which provides by Kafka. So basically, as we already talked about in our previous lectures, that Kafka is a distributed system, is a distributed framework, which means that it has the number of clusters working together parallelly, and they can be replaced easily because they are commodity hardwares which are very cheap. So we will get the benefit of the distributed computing, as well as we can get like standalone modes as well for like testing purposes, because you don't want to halt your server by using the small files or else the small workflows. So you can use standalone modes for testing purposes, development purposes, as well as bug fixes. So basically it will give you the whole flexibility to deploy your systems on the distributed network as well when you are going into the production. Then you got a REST interface. So we can manage connectors using a REST API basically. Also Kafka will give you the automatic offset management, which is a great pro, and also it has like the scalability by default. So as we already discussed that Kafka is a distributed system, so basically you just want to scale it horizontally, which is a pretty simple task. You just have to add more worker nodes into your cluster to able to scale it horizontally instead of scaling it vertically. So you can add as many on the nodes in the cluster and also install Kafka on top of it, so that it will enhance the capability to handle the big data. Also Kafka will give you the ability to go on the streaming as well as batch integration. So streaming means the data is coming at real time and you're processing it for some of the use cases in your organization, maybe the product recommendation system. And in the batch processing, we are not going to have a real-time source. We will be loading the data on an hourly basis, or else it could be a daily or even monthly for some institutions. And also at last it will give you the ability to transform your data as well, because your data could be coming from various sources and that data can contain garbage values and it shouldn't be the more usable one. So this will enable you to make simple and lightweight modification. So it's not like Spark, it is not a heavy data processing, but you can do all sorts of basic transformation which is not that much time consuming, because in real time scenarios latency is the biggest concern. So basically the data which is coming in as a streams, then Kafka will give you the ability to transform the data on the go without hampering any latency. So these are some of the features of the Kafka Connect. So in the previous lectures we have set up Kafka locally on our system. So there we have used the open source Kafka, but to test the Kafka Connect we are going to use Confluent Kafka. So it's nothing but the Kafka which is provided by the Confluent team. So this is the company behind the Kafka. So it will give you the rich set of libraries as well as the connectors which are supported widely and used by the industry nowadays. So basically we are going to set up Confluent Kafka now and then in the upcoming lecture, and then see how we can integrate all the sources as well as syncs with the Kafka. So let's talk about how we can implement it in few minutes. So as you can see, once you installed Confluent Kafka, which we are going to see eventually, we will focus. So just let's discuss about how we can do the source configuration as well as the sync connector configuration. So basically source connector configuration is nothing but defined in some of the properties files. So basically when you installed Confluent Kafka in your local system, then it will have the directory which is nothing but etc file. Then inside etc you will have a Kafka, and in Kafka you will have a connect file source.properties file. So you have to just open it in the notepad and just you have to define the source properties of your database. So basically then here we are using the local file source, so this is the name. So here here we will also test it with the local file source itself. So here we are using the class as a file stream source, as well as we are going to define the topic. So we are going to just give the connect test topic and the file is test.txt. So it will look out for the new data coming into the text.txt and dump it back to the connect.test, which is the target topic for our source. So once the data is present in the connect test, it's time to also configure the sync connector. Sync is basically our last target, where the data will flow from the topic which is connect test into our destination. So here the path for it is also present in the etc/Kafka. So the file name would be different. It's like a connect file sync.properties. So these two property files you just have to configure, and it's a simple changes itself. So here as you can see, our name for our sync connector will be the local file sync, and we have to define the test.sync testsync.txt file. So this is our destination file, and our topic is nothing but the same, which is connect test. So once the data is present in our topic, it will get written down to our testsync.txt file. This is very simple to understand, and we can also try it out with the different sources as well as the syncs. we can pull the data from any of the file systems like the HDFS, or we can say a database, NoSQL database like the MongoDB. We can pull the data from there, and once we process it, we can store it into our data warehouse. It could be S3 bucket, it could be HDFS, etc, etc. So this is how we can configure Kafka Connect very easily by utilizing the Confluent Kafka installation. So that's all for now. Let's talk about the CDC, which is a change data capture, which is nothing but used widely in the data world. So I'll see you in the next one.
So that's it for today. I'll see you in the next lecture.